Okay, so payments are, again, another pretty hefty subject, but obviously there's not much point in having a store if you can't actually get paid, right? So you need to add in some sort of payment provider, somebody who's going to take care of those credit card payments in particular, which is where most of your payments are going to be processed through. So you can see from the very beginning here, we got accept credit cards. And then it starts to talk about Shopify Payments. Now, you're going to learn a lot about this because Shopify Payments is, imaginatively enough, surprisingly enough, the payment system provided by Shopify. Yeah, that's the name they come up with, Shopify Payments. So anyway, at least it says exactly what it does on the tin. Now, if you can get Shopify Payments, then that's great because it's easy to set up, and in fact, it's pretty much the lowest fees you will get out of any provider. But the problem is that you need to really be based in the US for that to happen. It's not a globally available solution. You can get it in the UK, you can get it in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and Canada, but there are slight complications with currency conversion. So I would say, generally speaking, that Shopify Payments is great if you live in the US, but if you don't, you're going to have some problems with it. So it's showing me Shopify Payments by default because the system at the moment thinks I'm in the US based on that address I put in. But if I didn't want to have that, I could change it here just by clicking on Add a Provider. Shopify Payments recommended, which again, I repeat, this is the lowest fees you're going to get. But you can take your third-party credit card providers, and there are absolutely loads of them. So here we have loads of them available in the United States, other, etc. And you know, this list is extensive, and what you have to do with every single one of these, or whichever one you want, you're going to have to basically go to them and apply for an account and then come back here and integrate it into Shopify. Now, depending on where you live and your current situation and your credit rating and all kinds of stuff, what you're selling, you may find it easy to get set up with an external payment provider. You may find it difficult, and all the way in between. I get so many questions in my Facebook group and throughout my courses on payment providers, with people saying, you know, I'm based in Egypt, what can I do? All I can do is help them out a bit, but I'm not actually based there. Don't have that direct experience. So everyone has a slightly different situation. Now, to the rescue is PayPal, and I would certainly encourage you, if you've not got Shopify Payments as an option, or you don't want to look in that massive list, to go for PayPal. It's the fees are high by comparison, but it's a simple system, and it's available through most countries in the world. So again, you're going to have to go to PayPal, apply for an account. Sometimes you can apply for a personal account in the beginning, makes things a little bit easier, and then convert up to a business account later on. That's up to you. But PayPal is a great solution if you don't want to go for Shopify Payments because it's not available, or those other ones in that list. Now, another great solution is Stripe. And the reason why that's not showing here is because Shopify Payments is based on Stripe. And it's defaulting to Shopify Payments for me. But if I was based outside of the US, Canada, so let's say, for example, you are sitting in Mexico. Don't quote me on this, but let's just say you're sitting in Mexico, you're looking at this. You might see Stripe popping up, or you might see Stripe just popping up wherever you're sitting, right? That is another great solution. In fact, I prefer that over PayPal if you can get it. I find it simpler. The fees are slightly lower. I find it easier to integrate. So again, you need to go over to Stripe and go through that whole process of applying for an account. It's actually relatively straightforward, and then come back here and integrate it into your Shopify store. So as we scroll down a little bit, we do have some other payment methods. We can have got an Amazon Pay, which I really don't think is relevant, particularly in the beginning of anybody setting up their store. We got additional payment methods, things like BitPay and GoCoin and all this stuff. Frankly, it's a distraction, certainly at this stage. Then you've got, at the end of the day, manual payments, the ability to take things like a bank deposit or cash on delivery or a money order. This might be relevant for you depending on how your store is set up. But certainly for 99% of the people that I work with, we're talking about e-commerce, we're talking about credit card payments, so that's not so important. And then in the end, you've basically got a choice between your automatic or your manual payment authorization. So I hope that gives you a bit of a helicopter view, gives you an idea of what is involved with payments. And really, I think the takeaway here is that the onus is on you. You need to basically go and see what's available in your country you need to apply for the appropriate account in your country, and then come back and integrate it here into Shopify. And then you'll be able to start taking payments on your store.